ありがとうございます。
Thank you for your proposal. Thank you for your proposal.
前向きに検討させてください。
Let us consider it positively. Let us consider it positively.
少しお値段が高いですね。
That's a bit higher than we expected. That's a bit higher than we expected.
中間で折り合えませんか？
Could you meet us halfway? Could you meet us halfway?
予算に限りがあります。
We have a limited budget. We have a limited budget.
もう少し詳しく教えてください。
Could you walk me through the details? Could you walk me through the details?
条件を確認させてください。
Let me confirm the terms. Let me confirm the terms.
それは私たちには厳しいです。
That doesn't quite work for us. That doesn't quite work for us.
もう一度検討していただけますか？
Would you be willing to reconsider? Would you be willing to reconsider?
落としどころを探しましょう。
Let's try to find some common ground. Let's try to find some common ground.
理想を言えば来月納品です。
Ideally, we'd like delivery by next month. Ideally, we'd like delivery by next month.
できれば分割払いを希望します。
We would prefer to pay in installments. We would prefer to pay in installments.
率直に申し上げます。
Let me be candid with you. Let me be candid with you.
そこは譲れない点です。
That's a point we can't budge on. That's a point we can't budge on.
お互いに歩み寄りましょう。
Let's both give a little here. Let's both give a little here.
数量を増やせば安くなりますか？
Could you offer a better rate for a larger order? Could you offer a better rate for a larger order?
長期契約なら割引できますか？
Is there a discount for a long-term contract? Is there a discount for a long-term contract?
見積もりを見直していただけますか？
Could you revise your quote for us? Could you revise your quote for us?
その価格には見合いません。
The price doesn't quite justify the value. The price doesn't quite justify the value.
決済を通す必要があります。
I'll need to get sign off on this. I'll need to get sign off on this.
本題に入りましょう。
Let's get down to business. Let's get down to business.
腹を割って話しましょう。
Let's lay our cards on the table. Let's lay our cards on the table.
そこは前向きに調整します。
We're happy to be flexible on that. We're happy to be flexible on that.
現実的な線を探りましょう。
Let's aim for something realistic. Let's aim for something realistic.
その条件なら折り合えそうです。
We could live with those terms. We could live with those terms.
少し持ち帰らせてください。
Let me take this back to my team. Let me take this back to my team.
上と相談する必要があります。
I'll have to run this by my superiors. I'll have to run this by my superiors.
妥協点が見えてきました。
I think we're getting closer to a deal. I think we're getting closer to a deal.
この線で進めましょう。
Let's move forward on these terms. Let's move forward on these terms.
無理を承知でお願いします。
I know it's a big ask, but bear with me. I know it's a big ask, but bear with me.
条件次第では応じられます。
We could agree, depending on the terms. We could agree, depending on the terms.
そこを詰めていきましょ
う。Let's iron out the details. Let's iron out the details.
落ち着いて整理しましょ
う。Let's take a step back and regroup. Let's take a step back and regroup.
こちらも譲歩する用意があります。
We're prepared to make some concessions. We're prepared to make some concessions.
そこは多めに見てください。
I'd appreciate it if you could overlook that. I'd appreciate it if you could overlook that.
初期費用を抑えたいです。
We'd like to keep the upfront cost down. We'd like to keep the upfront cost down.
支払い条件を緩めていただけますか？
Could you ease the payment terms a little? Could you ease the payment terms a little?
納期を前倒しできますか？
Would it be possible to move up the deadline? Would it be possible to move up the deadline?
品質は妥協できません。
Quality is where we draw the line. Quality is where we draw the line.
そのリスクは負いかねます。
That's a risk we can't take on. That's a risk we can't take on.
痛み分けということで。
Let's call it a fair compromise. Let's call it a fair compromise.
双方にとって良い話です。
This works out well for both sides. This works out well for both sides.
認識に相違があるようです。
It seems we're not quite on the same page. It seems we're not quite on the same page.
そこは誤解があるようです。
I think there's been a misunderstanding there. I think there's been a misunderstanding there.
その点は保留にしましょ
う。Let's put that aside for now. Let's put that aside for now.
改めて条件を提示します。
Let me come back to you with a revised offer. Let me come back to you with a revised offer.
こちらの事情もお察しください。
I hope you can appreciate our position. I hope you can appreciate our position.
お互い様ということで。
I'm sure you'd do the same in our shoes. I'm sure you'd do the same in our shoes.
一歩踏み込んだ提案です。
This is us going the extra mile. This is us going the extra mile.
そこまでは踏み込めません。
I'm afraid we can't go that far. I'm afraid we can't go that far.
ご提案には感謝しますが難しいです。
I appreciate your offer, but it won't work for us. I appreciate your offer, but it won't work for us.
今回は見送らせてください。
We'll have to pass on this opportunity. We'll have to pass on this opportunity.
今のところご縁がなかったようです。
This isn't the right fit for us at this time. This isn't the right fit for us at this time.
また別の機会にお願いします。
I hope we can revisit this down the road. I hope we can revisit this down the road.
そこを何とかお願いできませんか？
Is there any way you could work with us on that? Is there any way you could work with us on that?
誠意ある回答に感謝します。
I appreciate you meeting us in good faith. I appreciate you meeting us in good faith.
落としどころを見つけましょう。
Let's see if we can bridge the gap. Let's see if we can bridge the gap.
そのあたりが妥当な線でしょう。
That strikes me as a reasonable figure. That strikes me as a reasonable figure.
端数を切っていただけますか？
Could you round that down for us? Could you round that down for us?
そこは目をつぶりましょう。
We're willing to let that one slide. We're willing to let that one slide.
口約束では動けません。
We can't act on a verbal agreement alone. We can't act on a verbal agreement alone.
書面で残しておきましょ
う。Let's get that in writing. Let's get that in writing.
契約書に反映してください。
Please have that reflected in the contract. Please have that reflected in the contract.
最速を詰めておきたいです。
I'd like to nail down the fine print. I'd like to nail down the fine print.
解約条件を確認させてください。
Let me clarify the termination clause. Let me clarify the termination clause.
その条項は受け入れかねます。
That clause is a bit of a sticking point. That clause is a bit of a sticking point.
落としどころが見えません。
I'm afraid we're at an impasse. I'm afraid we're at an impasse.
一旦持ち帰って再検討します。
Let's sleep on it and reconvene. Let's sleep on it and reconvene.
感触は悪くありません。
I'm cautiously optimistic about this. I'm cautiously optimistic about this.
前向きな返事を期待しています。
I'm hopeful we can make this work. I'm hopeful we can make this work.
そこは相場より高いです。
That's above the going rate, I'm afraid. That's above the going rate, I'm afraid.
他社さんとも比較しています。
We are weighing this against other offers. We are weighing this against other offers.
御社を第一に考えています。
You're our first choice, to be honest. You're our first choice, to be honest.
背中を押していただけますか？
Give me a reason to say yes. Give me a reason to say yes.
その一声で決まります。
That's all it would take to close this. That's all it would take to close this.
こちらの本音を申し上げます。
Let me tell you where we really stand. Let me tell you where we really stand.
水面下で調整しておきます。
I'll smooth things over behind the scenes. I'll smooth things over behind the scenes.
落ち着くところに落ち着きました。
I think we've landed in a good place. I think we've landed in a good place.
手を打ちましょう。
Let's shake on it. Let's shake on it.
この条件で握りましょう。
Let's lock in these terms. Let's lock in these terms.
ご英断に感謝します。
I appreciate you making the tough call. I appreciate you making the tough call.
今後とも良い関係を築きたいです。
We're in this for the long haul. We're in this for the long haul.
ここは一つ貸しにしておきます。
Consider this one on the house, then. Consider this one on the house, then.
そこは大人の対応をお願いします。
I trust you'll handle it gracefully. I trust you'll handle it gracefully.
その提案は的を射ています。
That proposal hits the mark. That proposal hits the mark.
痛いところを突かれました。
You've got me there. You've got me there.
そこは織り込み済みです。
We've already factored that in. We've already factored that in.
話が振り出しに戻りました。
We're back to square one, unfortunately. We're back to square one, unfortunately.
落としどころを詰め切りましょう。
Let's hammer out the final terms. Let's hammer out the final terms.
最終的な条件を詰めましょう。
Let's finalize where we've landed. Let's finalize where we've landed.
この金額が精一杯です。
This is honestly the best we can do. This is honestly the best we can do.
これ以上は譲れません。
I'm afraid this is our final offer. I'm afraid this is our final offer.
そこを飲んでいただけますか？
Could you meet us on that one point? Could you meet us on that one point?
妥協の余地はありますか？
Is there any wiggle room on your end? Is there any wiggle room on your end?
落としどころに近づきました。
We're within striking distance of a deal. We're within striking distance of a deal.
これで話をまとめましょう。
Let's wrap this up while we're ahead. Let's wrap this up while we're ahead.
気持ちよく合意できました。
I'm glad we could reach a deal we're both happy with. I'm glad we could reach a deal we're both happy with.
ご協力に感謝します。
Thank you for working with us on this. Thank you for working with us on this.
末永いお付き合いをお願いします。
Here's to a long and fruitful partnership. Here's to a long and fruitful partnership.
また次の商談でお会いしましょう。
Let's do business again soon. Let's do business again soon.